Hello YouTube, this is that Yi guy. Today I have for you an ultimate guide on the excavation skill in Lost Ark. Excavation is what I think the best life skill for the late game especially, and on the top of that you make a very good money for using up all your life energy, and once you level high enough you get your own doggo who will follow you and help you dig for treasure. So I'm pretty sure 99% of you have been completely sold on the skill by now, so I'm gonna go over all the details, everything you're gonna need to know. As with all my guides moving forward, I'm gonna put timestamps down below so you can more easily navigate to different information that you might be looking for in the future if you ever come back to it. So I always put a lot of time researching, collecting data before I put out guides, so it might be a little later than everyone else's, but I do put a lot of work into it and I verify and double check everything. So if you like the way I do things, like my content, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. Before I go into the details, I want to quickly show my work and show you how I reach the numbers I'm going to put in the title as for how much profit this trade skill is. So I actually went through and bought a lot of pots in the Mari shop for the life skill energy, and I'm going to tell you later whether or not that is worth it. And at the end of the day, I spent 34,000 energies, and then I took the screenshot of what I have before and what I have after. I subtracted the difference and priced it based on the market price. So if I wanted to, I could potentially recalculate it right now, because as you can see, all the prices have gone up. So if I wanted to, I could potentially squeeze out a higher number and probably round it to 2K for full bar energy. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you exactly what to expect. And as with everything I collect, I try to do it in a balanced way. So I didn't absolutely min-max everything because, of course, not the method I use is not going to apply to everyone. You might have more competition, you might have lower level skill, you might have higher level skill, you might have better tools or worse tools. So I would aim for something in the middle ground, something that most people can achieve. As this is a complete guide, I'm going to start from the basics. So if you already know the basics, you can feel free to skip to a later section. All of them should be clearly labeled so you can find the information you're looking for. In Lost Ark, we have a lot of life skills, and excavation I believe is the best one. So to see all the life skills / trade skills, you can simply press L button, or you can go to the character and pull it up, and you can check your current level. So you can actually reach all the way up to level 60 of your excavating, but at level 30 is where you get the best skill for excavation, which is a sniffer dog. Having your own doggo is the best. And as you see on the right side, there is the mastery skill level. And aside from just learning new skills, which you can see on the left, you also, as you level up excavation, you're gonna get more and more bonuses. When you activate the sonar, an indicator will appear above your head, and if there's a relic nearby, you're gonna be able to see and hear the beeping, and when you move to a spot that's closer and they start flashing blue, that's when you can press the relic search, and then the relic will appear and you simply have to dig it up. So a lot of people were kind of turned off by this process because it takes some time to find it, and then they're worried that it will take them too long to burn through all the work energy. But unlike gathering flour, chopping log, we use up hundreds of energy per gather, and we get a bunch of relics every gather. So that actually uses up energy relatively fast. So if you want a fast way to burn through it, if you can find a spot that's not very contested, this is actually a very, very quick way to go through all your work energy so that you're not wasting it. There are a lot of good gathering spots around the world for excavation, and the one I recommend before you can reach the tier 3 areas is going to be Azurwind Island. But keep in mind, anything I recommend might be highly contested, just because once people think this is the best spot, they're all going to go there in order to gather. So that's something to keep in mind. So there's no way to promise this is the best spot just because it all comes and goes. So I would recommend that you find a spot that's good for you, and you can always tell if the map is the place where you can find the relics. You simply go to the mini map, and if it has the symbol up here, you're going to be able to see that what you are able to find there. And you can see on this map, you could potentially find relic trace and old relic trace. So that's really good. So you could get the basic type and the higher rarity type. Having gone through the relic search and sonar, I'm going to go over the other skills as well. So there's the loot hunter that lets you discover a treasure chest when investigating a relic. This is a really good skill. And when you get the treasure chest, you can potentially get report items, you can potentially get a lot of materials, and if you're really lucky, you can get a personalized one-man instant excavation map. What that does is that it does not give you all the upgrade materials like maps you will get from Chaos Gate, but these maps will let you have a chance to get the tools that you need in order to craft all the different profession tools. So it will give you crafting kits. Another thing is that excavation. So I'm going to show you really quick how excavation works. So I found a excavation node. I'm going to go ahead and discover it, and I'm simply going to dig. And you see that I dug this up, and I have a archaeological sense buff. So I have an increased movement speed, and it's going to stack up. And when I stack it up to 5, the next thing I harvest will trigger a mini game. And the last one at level 30, you get the sniffer dog. So you get a very cute dog that not only just act adorable and just follows you around everywhere. If they discover a treasure, they will actually run and dig it up for you. So they're gonna go to the spot, they're gonna be agitated, and they're gonna actually start clawing and digging at the spot where the relics are. So even if the dog is not near you, you're still gonna get the bonus items. It's gonna consume the extra energy. So if you want, you can burn through that energy bar even faster once you reach level 30. With the basic out of the way, I'm gonna talk about the tools. You have different rarity of tools, and these you can make in your stronghold. So I have a separate stronghold guide that kind of go over the basics of stronghold, everything you need to know about that. As you can see, I'm currently using 2 different tools, and they have different rarity, and you can potentially get something in the relic rarity, but that's very expensive to make. So purple one is what you can reasonably get for relatively cheap, and I'm going to show you how you can make it, as well as how you can make the higher rarity ones. So if you go to your stronghold, you could go to the workshop. In the workshop, you can go to the tools tab, and this is where you can see how you can craft all the tools that you're going to need. And they all require apprentice crafting kits or higher rarity crafting kits, apprentice adapt expert, and then eventually the relic tier. And you can either buy these because they are tradable on the market, and to buy them, I'm going to show you a shortcut that's very good. You can hold down Control and you can right click on the item even from this menu, and this is something you can do for your inventory as well. So this lets you search the market, and it will automatically plug it in and tell you what the market price is. So as you can see, the expert crafting kit is very expensive. Of course, because it's expensive, if you get one through excavation, you're gonna make a lot of profit if you choose to sell it instead of using it. So I have one expert excavation tool. To craft it, you need all these materials, and as with the previous material needed, you can actually just purchase this as needed. So what's very easily obtainable is going to be the purple rarity. It is going to be the epic, and that's what I use for a long time. So this is the adapt excavating tool. I'm going to go over all the perks you're looking for on them as well, but let's just take a look at how much this will cost to craft. So this will cost 99 gold as of now. It will cost stronghold energy, and the actual tool kit is going to be relatively affordable. It's gonna be 30-ish gold. So that's very affordable, and you could craft multiples in order to get different modifiers. And so for epic, you are going to get 3 random modifiers. For legendary, you're gonna get 4 different modifiers, and of course for relic, you're gonna get 5 different ones. So all the possible modifiers are listed here. So as you can see, there's the super armor, there's increased gathering speed, there's basic reward drop rate, there's a rare material drop rate, increased chance for special reward, reduced chance of durability loss, reduced minigame difficulty, and increased minigame rewards. So there's a lot of them, but you know, we're not gonna have the perfect tool, and that is exactly the reason why I keep 2 of them, even though it is a little bit tedious. Just until I can eventually late game with the profit I make, I hope to craft the perfect tool. But the most important one is something that everyone will recommend. It's going to be the super armor, but there's a caveat to that. I personally think the most important ones are actually increased basic reward drop rate and increased rare material drop rate. Because super armor, what that does is that when you are in middle of gathering, if something hits you that doesn't stun you, just normal enemy hit, if you have super armor on your tool, you actually don't get interrupted and stop gathering. You can just keep gathering and take the hit, and it makes it much smoother. If you don't have a super armor, you're gonna have to wipe out all the enemies in the immediate area, make sure nothing's aggro on you before you keep gathering. Now that's very annoying. Of course, if you can have this, it'll be great, and I have this on my legendary tool, which is why I have it for now, but the actual tool itself is kind of bad, even though it is a legendary. My epic tool is actually better because it has rare material acquisition probability plus 24%. That is going to give me much more profit, because a lot of the money you're going to make from this skill and a lot of the useful materials you're going to have is going to be from this skill itself. So you want to maximize the rare materials you get, because you're going to need that the most. So if I were to pick a perfect epic excavating tool, I would pick one with basic reward drop rate, an increased rare material drop rate, and a chance for special reward. But of course, this is all RNG, and chance of having all 3 is going to be very low. Even for me, someone who's trying to min-max, I have a rare material probability and 2 relatively useless rolls. But for me, this is good enough to use for now. It doesn't have to be perfect, but as you have more resources, as you have more time, you should try to craft more tools and try to min-max and get better and better ones. So just a reminder, I'm going to put this information down below as well. The priority for me is actually basic reward drop rate, rare material drop rate, increased chance for special reward, followed by super armor, and with super armor being a luxury option. So the premise of a minigame is pretty straightforward. Right now, I have equipped a shovel that gives me lower minigame difficulty. So what that does is that if I go into it right now, you're gonna see that I have 3 different bars I'm trying to hit, but one of them is rather large. So all of them are wider than they would typically be if I do not have difficulty decrease. So this is gonna be how it plays out. The arrow is gonna move, and I'm trying to time it just perfect. I'm eyeballing it and trying to hit the space bar relatively right before where the arrow would be at the blue. So I will go, and at this point, it will be already too late for me to mentally tell myself to hit the space bar. So I actually hit the space bar just a split second before the arrow got to that point. That way, you know, you can compensate for the delay between your action and your eyes. I would try to hit this one, and I missed it, even though it was technically easier than the one earlier. Now here's an example of a super lucky mini game outcome. So this is when I have, for testing purposes, triggered a multiple yield, multiple consumption potion where I use twice much gathering energy and got twice the yield, and I got the mini game. So as you can see, compared to the example before this, the bars on the mini game is so much smaller. This just make it so much more difficult. But if you can get this down perfect, you're gonna have tremendous reward. And this is something that comes with practice. As you excavate more and more, as you play more and more mini game, I promise you, you're gonna get better at it. I'm not a very good reflex player for mini game. I believe out of this entire session, I played more than 10 mini game. I only got 2 of them just right. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you. You can actually be a little patient. You don't have to get it on the first pass. You have 15 seconds. It's gonna come all the way to the right, come back. You can wait and bide your time and wait until you're sure, or as sure as you can be, before you hit the button and try to lock in the arrow. So I waited until the second pass, and then yep, I got the first one that was the most difficult, and I got the second one. So I waited until it was optimal, and I stopped at just the right time. And I also got kind of lucky because I don't have this kind of result often. And then I go for the last one, and perfect. So as you can see, I almost missed it just there. So this is much more difficult without the decreased difficulty, but it is doable. And the multiple passes only took 7 seconds, so technically you could let it go back and forth multiple times. And for the reward, because this is a multiple yield due to the potion I chugged, it's going to take a massive amount of my life energy. And then because this is the old relic trace, the purple one, which I hit the mini game on, the yield is going to be drastically boosted. And as you can see, you're just gonna see so much reward. I got 106 rare relic, 100 ancient relic, rare relic, and ancient relic, and a bunch of blue. This is such a big payday for that one. This is hundreds of gold in just one mini game success. So this is kind of like payoff you can do. So one thing is that if you can have the mini game stacks built up, if you have the chance to get and choose which one you use the mini game on, potentially you could skip the first one if what you find is the green relic to try to dig up. You could skip that one if you have enough time, jump to the next spot and try to pick up a purple. The next part you might be asking is, where can you get these craft tools? So extra craft tools seems very expensive. And you're right, this is quite expensive and quite profitable if you can get it. But there's the even rarer one. So there's the Master Craft Kit, and the price is 14K. There are people that actually buy it. I have a friend who has gotten this from excavating inside the map, and he sold this. And yeah, this is massive amount of profit. And you can also use this to craft a tool that can get you 6 random ones of this. So you're gonna have like a god tier tool as well. So if I have the extra gold, I will actually try to make one myself. You can see that I'm actually crafting this map all the time. This is the only thing I spend my stronghold energy on. I'm just constantly crafting these archaeological maps. So in order to craft these maps, you're gonna need to be able to research them first. So you can go here, for example, I have some of these unresearched. So I could have just researched a Phaeton treasure map, for example, if I want to unlock it. But for me, I just went for the Punica one because I'm now in tier 3. So one thing to watch out for is that there are 2 choices. There's a Phaeton treasure map, for example, and Phaeton treasure map chest. Chest, you do not want to touch this one. You want the one that says just treasure map, because the chest will consume the materials you gather inside your stronghold, and that's much less efficient. So you want to use Phaeton treasure map, and you simply research it. And once you do, or if you're doing Yorn and I just show you what I have researched. So when I was lower tier, I did North Vern archaeological site map. When I was higher, I did Yorn archaeological site map. And then now that I'm tier 3, I did Punica archaeological site map. And they all require different materials. So it's going to be very simple to kind of know what you need. And if you need to make more and you don't have the materials yourself, if you didn't gather it yet, you can also buy them off the marketplace. They're all tradable, and it does cost gold and stronghold energy. Then that's just something to watch out for. But I personally think this is worth it, and so far I've been making consistent profit. And this is not something I've kept secret. This is in my stronghold guides. So I actually kept a decent log of what I got of the previous ones. As you can see, you're gonna get Moon's Breath when you gather, and you're gonna get the relics, and you're gonna get the craft kit as well. So there is a chance to get the higher rarity craft kit, and in all my maps I have gotten a higher rarity craft kit. That's where my tool actually came from. I used the kit I got and made myself a legendary craft tool. So you're not always gonna get Moon's Breath. I actually went through, you see that I got a bunch of Moon's Breath, but 3 in a row I did not get one. So it's gonna feel kind of bad when you do not, and you're gonna feel like you're losing tons of money. But as you do more and more, you're gonna get Moon's Breath, and they average it out to roughly 5 Moon's Breath or 4 Moon's Breath per map that you're gonna get, on top of a chance to get a very nice craft kit. So I highly recommend, if you're in tier 2, start doing the Yorn archaeological site maps. If you're tier 3, do the Punica one. For the Punica one, you're gonna get tradable upgrade materials. They're gonna get tradable versions of Solar Grace, Solar Blessing, Solar Protection, but very rarely. But overall, it is going to be profitable because the ones you get off these maps are actually tradable. Now we know that we can buy pretty much all the materials. You're also going to need the crafting recipes in order to craft these tools. So to get that, we simply go to our stronghold and we go down to the NPC. This NPC is going to be down the stairs to the left of the traveling merchant. So we're going to simply run down. And over here, there's a crafting recipe exchange. This NPC is where we can spend our adventure seals and buy the crafting recipes. For the sake of completion, I'm gonna go over as well the cash shop options. So if you take a look at the Mari shop, so for me, aside from the founders pack, I haven't spent any more money buying stuff in this game. And all my blue crystal comes from spending money in the currency exchange, using the gold to buy the blue gems. So I have a lot saved up, but if you go to the Mari shop, sometimes you can check out and refresh and see that there's minor life energy potions. And is that worth it? Well, I'm gonna quickly show you. Each one will on average cost 20 gems because Mari offers them in a bundle of 5 of them for 100 gems. So that averages out to 20 gems each one giving you 1000 energy. So if we take a look at the map I did, in terms of blue crystals, you're gonna need 680 blue crystals to do 34,000 energy, and that's gonna be 7.55 bundles. So bundles is pretty much every single time you purchase the currency, you're actually not gonna get 95 because of the fees. You're gonna get 90. So you're gonna have to do this purchase 7.5 times. So with that, I calculated the price. So when I initially did this study, I did it at when the gold price for crystal was 634. But right now the price has gone up. As you can see, it's going up fast. So at 738 gold per bundle, it's no longer worth it to buy the potion just for the profit, except there's extra benefit to just the loot you get. So as you have better tools, as you're a higher level, the profit is going to go up, which makes this number go up. But if you have more life energy, I would potentially level up my excavation skill even higher and unlock the better bonuses, making it even more efficient. So this is a real thing you should consider when it comes to whether or not you should purchase the life energy potions. Another thing is the leap essence. So I actually purchased one just for the sake of testing, and it doesn't work the way some people think it works. So overall, this does not improve your efficiency in terms of how much life energy can get you how much items. But what it does let you do is that for the next 3,000 energy you're going to use, you're actually just going to gather double and use double. So it's going to save you time. That's all it's going to do. So if you use this, you're going to actually save minutes every single one you use. But as I went over earlier, excavation does not take all that long. So 38 minutes. So to use up this much energy, you're going to use a little more than 3 of this essence. And each one costs you 10 blue gems on average, because 100 gets you 10. So you can kind of ask yourself, is it worth spending the 30 gems in order to save myself 19 minutes? So some people would say yes, some people say no, but it is going to be up to you at the end of the day. Just a very last thing, for the sake of being as thorough as I can possibly be in telling you about excavation skill, I'm going to go over the collectible for the life trade skills. So if you go to Avengers and you go to collectible, you're going to see a tab called the World Tree Leaves. So this is going to be very important. I'm going to go over the most notable ones here. So initially, it's going to be hard to get enough leaves to get to the later ones, but what is very obtainable are the first 2. This one gives you trade skill EXP, and you should use them immediately. So if you use them all, you're going to level up all your professions to a 7 or 8. And the second one, it's going to be super important for you to get. So this is a charm that you can equip on your character, and it's going to boost everything when it comes to trade skill. The way to get these leaves is that you're gonna just do different type of gathering until you get world leaf. Every single life skill, as you do foraging, as you pick flowers, there's a chance that you're gonna get a leaf. As you do logging, there's a chance you're gonna get a leaf. Mining, hunting, everything. So until you get this amount of leaves, it's highly recommended that you actually diversify and try to get as many as you can. And then once you have 12, you can simply click the spot I showed you just now. You view location, you can go to Luterra Castle, and you can actually find the NPC that will let you exchange. Actually, this exchange is in multiple cities, so it doesn't even have to be Luterra City, but you can just look for the leaf. So if you watched all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you watching to the end and so supporting my content. And as you know, I do not like clickbaiting. I do not want to give you a video that just says you're making a huge mistake, or it's just like, oh, you're doing this all wrong, and not tell you what the video is about in the title. That infuriates me so much. I can't stand it. So no matter what, even if I had to resort to clickbait, I'm always going to tell you what the video is all about, so that if you already know the stuff, you will never have to waste a click and waste your time on my channel. So if you like the way I do things, please consider subscribing, please consider sharing. I genuinely appreciate it. I kind of want to take the YouTube more seriously, make more guides, and do things like that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.